Tigray forces have controlled at least 6 villages in the Afar region. Are Tigray forces armed with heavy weapons? Did they use Zu-23-2 in the Afar region? Why is Tigray Peace and Security Bureau silent? What is Afar regional government saying? What are the residents of Afar saying? What did Getachew say? What is happening on Tigray Afar border? Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for watching. Let me take you back a little in 2021 when Tigray forces launched attacks. They took control of southern Tigray, you remember, back. They took it back. And then they entered the Afar region. They entered 4 Woredas of Afar region. But back then, their target was Ethiopia-Djibouti road. They wanted to reach this road to cut off the road because this road and the railway line passing in the area is the lifeline of the Ethiopian economy, as Ethiopia relies on Djibouti's ports for all its imports and exports. So that incursion into Afar in 2021 was different. They entered Afar again yesterday. So people are drawing parallels, saying war has begun. Tigray is back to war. Is this conclusion logical and correct or not? Firstly, what happened? Yes, yesterday, Tigray forces entered the Afar region. I mentioned clash between TPF and TDF in last night's live chat. I shared details, but I said I'll take my time. I'll verify because the two parties are sharing conflicting information. Tigray-backed sources are claiming that ENDF and Tigray Peace Force, they have launched an attack on Tigray forces in southern Tigray, and that Tigray military is not in Afar. On the other hand, Prosperity Party-backed sources, pro-TPF sources are claiming that Tigray forces have entered the Afar region and they're attacking Afar territories and TPF there. What is the truth? Well, the truth is that Tigray forces did enter the Afar region on Wednesday. They entered Zone 2 of Afar region. They entered Megale. Megale is a Woreda on Afar Tigray border. And there they captured at least 6 villages, confirmed by Afar regional government. People are saying that Tigray fighters are armed with heavy weapons. Zu-23-2 anti-aircraft guns are being used by Tigray military. Questions are being asked. TDF was supposed to surrender these weapons to the Ethiopian National Defense Force under Pretoria deal. If TDF is in possession of Zu-23, it means that it did not hand over all the weapons to Ethiopian National Defense Force. And if you remember, Field Marshal Jula a few months ago asked, he told TPLF to return all the weapons. He said, we know that TPLF had buried weapons. It had not handed over all the heavy weapons to ENDF. He demanded that Tigray Population Fund surrender all the remaining heavy weapons. The use of Zu-23 indicates that Tigray military is still armed with heavy weapons. 6 villages under Tigray military's control. Afar regional government says that people are being displaced because Tigray military has opened fire in 6 villages at innocent people. Civilians are being beaten. But Afar elders, they tried to intervene. They requested Tigray fighters to withdraw. Tigray fighters did not listen. Now Afar people are being displaced from these 6 villages. Question is it start of a war? And how to sum up the situation? Gita Achoreda claims that Fisseha Manjos and John Madid are the perpetrators, and they are using Tigray forces to take control of Afar territories. They want to block the roads to Afar, and they want to use Afar territories as a bargaining chip. That's what his view is. And he is calling it a provocative action by Tigray military. Tigray Peace and Security Bureau has not issued a statement so far. There is no official statement from Tigray so far. If you ask me, well, I think that this attack is a response to what happened in southern Tigray 3 days ago. In southern Tigray 3 days ago, Tadesse Verde visited Churchill. President of Tigray visited Churchill. TPF fighters, they tried to disrupt the visit of Tadesse Verde in Churchill. They fired mortars, and there was clash for several hours between TPF fighters and Tigray military, between Raya Zibo and Wajirat. Tadesse Verde did visit Churchill despite the clash towards Wajirat side. Clash happened in southern Tigray. TPF fighters from afar entered southern Tigray. So Tigray military after that launched a counterattack. Because Tigray military knows that now TPF fighters have the capability to enter southern Tigray and disrupt the visits of presidents and the senior leaders. So this action is basically against TPF by Tigray military. But TPF bases in Afar are not just in border areas. They're in Samra too, by the way. TPF offices are in Samra as well. Basically, Tigray military is terrorizing the Afar people and Afar government. That your soil is being used by TPF fighters for attacks against Tigray military. We won't tolerate that. If you make our southern Tigray zone a battlefield, we will make your Meghalaya zone to Afar a battlefield. That's why we are here in your territory. We will come again. So you have to ensure that TPF does not operate on your territory. This is what TPF wanted. TPF, Tigray Peace Force, backed by Ethiopian federal government, led by Tigrayan generals, wanted TDF to draw TDF into the Afar region. Because once TDF enters Afar region, Afar regional government, Afar regional forces will be involved. They'll be dragged in this conflict, and this is what is happening. Videos in circulation showing Afar regional force members on battlefront, pointing towards the places in Afar where Tigray fighters have entered. Videos are there in circulation. So it means that Afar regional government is involved now. And Afar government in a statement said last night that it reserves the right to protect its citizens. It means Afar regional government will mobilize its forces against Tigray fighters. This is what TPF wants. TPF wants allies to be on its side, so that backed by the allies, TPF then marches into Tigray. So it's a very complex situation now. Use of heavy weapons is being confirmed. People say Pretoria has collapsed. Too early to say that it's start of full-blown war. Will Tigray military withdraw from Meghalaya zone to Afar region, or will it try to remain in control of these villages? This is the most important question, and we can find answer to it after a few hours. Fighting stopped last night So we are now monitoring the situation. We'll see what happens today. Will military withdraw? Tigray military withdraw? Will it continue advance? I don't think Afar regional forces will allow Tigray military to be on Afar territory. They will launch counterattacks if military of Tigray does not withdraw. So today is crucial. We'll see today what the trajectory of this conflict is. Thanks for watching.